Well, let's talk about traceability because you mentioned the different sourcing of hides. And I'll give an example that I had heard recently, again, from that Ask It brand that I think is fascinating to hear from them. And they're talking about how they trace their cotton from the farm to your t-shirt. And they said it's really difficult to know exactly where the cotton in the shirt you're wearing came from because all the cotton gets aggregated into one lot and they'll be sold by brokers in an auction. And the manufacturer will receive that lot and not know how it was how it was aggregated together. How do you track incoming hides? Can you track them to a field?
No, it's actually similar. We use all North American hides other than the horse hides that come from Europe. So they're all North American. So we know they're all from the central U.S. basically. We were getting some from Canada. We're not really doing that anymore. But those raw materials for us are coming from places where there are established regulations, and there are.
Do you get certificates of that?
I mean, they're coming. It's like Tyson and big places that are very much scrutinized by the laws, but also by the public. So I think that it has the effect of making them responsible.
What was the name of the brand? Their meat, pretty fancy meat. Starts with a B. Fancy meat place that. Give me the name. You made leather for them out of their hides.
Oh, I don't know if they're even around. I think it was
Belcampo.
Samsonite.
That was way off. So I remember you were making some stuff for Belcampo. That's an interesting method too, where they're using the whole animal. What's crazy is
they're gone though.
Are Belcampo's gone? Oh, really?
Bye Belcampo, the high-end meat company from LA list, October 2021.
See, there's your news right there. That's the news segment.
They were trying to be vertically integrated, though.
That was an interesting concept. Mm-hmm. I think hundreds of years ago, the people that lived on this continent kind of had it right. We're going to use all the animal and respect it. And I think that's what Belcampo was doing. So that's really sad to hear that they're not around.
Yeah, I mean, so they were raising the cattle for beef, processing the animals themselves, and then they had the butchers, and then they had the restaurants too.
So they were doing that whole
and I think they
traceability thing.
I think they owned the ranches where the steers were being raised. So they had it was totally vertical. And then they were taking the hides and they sent us the hides, and then they used those hides to upholster stuff in their restaurants. So great,
using all of it, yeah.
Yeah, great idea. I'm not sure how.
I remember the meat was really expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it was. I mean, it's expensive to do it, that way.
Well, I think that's maybe how we wrap up this conversation is everything has a cost, including that, which is probably the most transparent way. It's just going to be more expensive, which is perhaps good.